Hello everyone, today the SmackDown Hotel proudly brings you probably the biggest WWE Games concept video ever. Today we're showcasing how a brand new Create a Comeback mode should be designed to be featured in a future WWE game. First, here's a look at how the mechanics should work. There are 6 motion slots you can fill, in which you can string together moves and transitions. You can opt to use either 3 moves or only 2 moves, but it's mandatory to fill at least 3 of the 6 slots available, so if you like to use only 2 moves, you'll have to use at least 1 transition as well. When the comeback is executed in a match, the opponent animations will automatically move him or her into position inside the ring depending on your next move or transition. It's important to note that not all moves in the game are selectable to be strung together and create a comeback mode, only the fast-paced moves that keep the momentum flowing. With exception, the final move you pick can be any big move as well, such as those that are typically signatures or finishers, end in a pin combination, leave the opponent groggy between the ropes, or seated at the turnbuckle. So let's get right into it and show you the different ways in which you can start your comeback. First, you can trigger a comeback from a front position by starting with a strong strike. Here are a few examples. Or a strike combo, such as Triple H punches, as well as moves that were removed from the previous game, such as CM Punk's martial arts combination, proper rock punches, etc. Or a front grapple, which as we mentioned would let you select any fast-paced front grapple, excluding big moves such as signatures or finishers. You can also select a special animation, such as Hulk Hogan's Hulk Ups, the Poison Mist, or even a cool classic animation from back in the good old Here Comes the Pain days. Or of course, you can choose to start the comeback with a running move, which would include both grapples and strikes. In this scenario, the comeback could be triggered both while standing in front of the opponent or while running. Alternately, you could also start the comeback with a rebound move, which could be triggered with the opponent either standing or running towards you, such as after an Irish whip. Another way you could start the comeback would be with the opponent at the corner. You'd be able to pick any corner running strike as long as it's fast-paced and keeps the momentum flowing. Finally, and this is where it gets fun, you could decide to start your comeback with a transition. What are transitions, you may ask? Transitions are animations that allow you to switch from one position to another during the comeback, and include unique motions that we see in every wrestling match. Some allow you to throw your opponent into the corner, go behind him, dodge a clothesline, or run to the ropes in several different ways, as well as do an Irish whip, and so on and so forth. Each position has its own unique set of possible transitions available, each one meticulously considered in order to make sure that every single possibility that exists in wrestling is included. We even have this unique motion that Chris Jericho does as part of his comeback, where he gets sent to the apron and climbs onto the top turnbuckle. I hope you like it. This took a while to put together. You can go to the middle rope, a new position, or to the top rope and follow it up with a diving move. The possibilities are endless, and that is just the start. Alright, so let's say we pick corner Irish whip and run as our first motion. We can then follow it up with a running strikes at the corner of our choosing. Here are some examples. We have a couple of transitions here as well that allow us to go to the top rope if we wanted to, or go to the opponent's back. Let's try this one. From this position, we can follow up with a selection of running moves from behind. So far, we've used 2 transitions, and this would be our first actual move. This would leave the opponent in a grounded state, which would open up a lot of different possibilities that we can explore later on in the video. Yes, that's right. Comeback can also include ground moves. You would have all the freedom you want. But first, let's try to pick something else at the corner. If we were to pick a move that leaves your opponent stunned at the corner, such as a splash or let's say a cool moonsault kick, we would then be able to follow it up with either a front grapple, a corner grapple, or again, we could use a transition. A few of the new ones available include running the ropes or run to the opposite corner to charge for another running strike. We'll talk more about running moves in a bit as well. Let's say we wanted to create Dolph Ziggler's comeback. He does a jumping body splash to the corner, follows it up with a 10 count punch, and then finally a neck breaker. We can also decide the speed of the moves, as you can see here. Now, as you can also see here, the game is prompting us to select our next and final move. That's because, as we mentioned, you can pick a maximum of 3 moves. However, if we wanted to, we would still be able to first transition into another state before doing our final move. That's because we still had 3 motion slots available. Now, since we wanted to create Ziggler's comeback, we're going to select his neck breaker. And here's our final result. After finishing your comeback, you'll be able to choose how you want to follow it up. Maybe you want your opponent getting right up after your comeback is over so that you can immediately follow it up with your signature or finisher. Finally, you are also able to pick the kip up motion you want to use if you trigger your comeback from a grounded state. The Shawn Michaels kip up should work well for Ziggler. And save your created comeback. As part of the comeback, you can even use springboard moves. Let's try to create something original. If you choose the reverse corner Irish whip animation, you can follow it up with a springboard move off the corner. Oh, and yeah, we hired Green and Red back to let them do what they do best, demonstrate moves. We even hired Christian just for the purpose of showing you his own sunset flip move done right. If you were wondering what happened to him, well, now you know. From this position, you have several transitions at your disposal as well, including Daniel Bryan's corner back flip, Shawn Michaels flip, and corner reversals that allow you to jump over the opponent or set up for a diving attack. Here's some examples of what you could pick from the new middle rope position. But let's select Daniel Bryan's backflip to show you what other transitions we have at our disposal while running. We even brought back the dreaded RVD back roll. Don't tell Mexican Pride! While running, you have 2 attack possibilities. Choose to bounce off the ropes and hit a running move, or go for the springboard. Let's pick Cesaro's uppercut. Now, our opponent is grounded. There are plenty of transitions that can be used in this state, but for now, let's wrap up this comeback with a ground move. What's that lion salt, ukes? Remember, this is only our second actual move, so unless we pick a very big move like the ones that have the finish icon near them, we could even choose to follow it up with another ground move. Let's pick the shooting star splash. See, we could still fill the 6th slot with another ground move, but the comeback looks great already. Let's see the final result. Not bad, huh? You have complete freedom. What about Roman Reigns' comeback? Let's try to put it together. Reversed Irish whip off the ropes, duck the clothesline, bounce off the ropes with his jumping clothesline. Then, as we mentioned before, in addition to all the transitions that were available from the start, there are several new ones that you can also pick from a grounded position, like for example, bouncing off the ropes, or running towards the ropes a la John Cena. But for our Roman Reigns comeback, we need to pick this one. Opponent gets up at the corner. Then follow it up with a clothesline. And at last, trigger the final animation, a punch followed by a leaping basement dropkick. Obviously the move is not in WWE 2K14, but we'll probably make it in 2K15. Anyway, it gives the idea. Here's our final result. The one we're creating right now is the comeback that fellow SmackDown Hotel original and simulation player Nick Virtue does during his matches. 2 arm drags with the opponent getting back up and running towards the player at both times, finishing up with a Samoan drop. With the create a comeback mode, he would no longer need to do it manually. Let's now put together another original comeback. This is from FAM Superstar and SDH associate Rombuster. He starts off with a running hip attack, then bounces off the ropes and hits an elbow attack, finishing it up with a running senton. Let's take a look at it again. Now let's show one final example by creating Stone Cold Steve Austin's comeback, since for some reason it's not in the game. We start by Irish whipping the opponent to the ropes, which could be followed by leapfrogs or other transitions. But what we want right now is to open up a can of whoop ass on this SOB with a Luthez press, and follow it up with that classic Stone Cold elbow drop. Here's our final result. Looks pretty good, huh? Ready to go for the Stone Cold Stunner. This ends the demonstration. The Create a Comeback mode contains every single possibility you can think of, allowing you to put together real-life comebacks, original comebacks, or even recreate ones that are already in the game if for some reason you wanted to do that. You could even build a comeback consisting of only 3 German suplexes if you wanted to channel your inner Brock Lesnar. With the Create a Comeback mode, you can use your imagination and create anything you want, from the silly looking comebacks to the very advanced and complex ones like the ones showcased here. Would you like to see Create a Comeback mode in a future WWE game? Make sure to leave your thoughts and comments, and if you enjoyed the concept, you can send a tweet to @WWE Games to bring this video to their attention. Also, stay tuned for another video coming soon that will be showcasing several comebacks that you'll be able to create in this game by using this mode. So make sure to write in the comments which ones you would like to see, either real life ones or original ones, and they'll be included in the next video.